tyres. There's a nice MG. The rubber bumpers. Yep.
Love between men and women, and men and cars.
That's it. Oh yeah, you don't blow it.
It takes place in Hazard County.
That's a bugger. Can't blow it everyone. Ooh, there's a store.
Automobile Grill Show.
I don't see why we're wasting our money to go over there when we got Bo here to...
He said, no, I don't think he said it didn't work, I'm still doing it. So we went down to the south and bought the stuff for it. It's disputed to be the best in the country as regards to record. It's had all the land, it's done to it, so it lives here with us. It occasionally takes it down. Doing work for the BBC, when the BBC had all their financial problems a few years ago. That contract finished, and he said, oh, that's it, that's no more work. And then banging some cash around, and that keeps you going, continuing on now, and working all the time. It's a lovely car. It doesn't go out that often anymore, but it's on the button. We can fire it up and run it. We do often move it around. It's ready for a clean. It was out 2 weeks ago, just now, so it's ready for a clean any time you go. The story that I have about that is, we used to have, when we worked at Headwood, we had one customer, or one person who used to come to the cafe for us. Now, lived across the road from us, and this was his dream car. He watched the original. Used to dress his wife up as Daisy Duke and she's a big girl. And he used to dress up as Daisy Duke, and every time this went out, she could hear it, and he used to say, oh, she's between the other seat and watching. So his wife came to me and he said, any chance on his 40th birthday, you can be taking for a drive on the General Lee? I said, oh, ring John up and say, I'm sure it'll be alright. I'll ring him up. Anyway, yeah, John said, oh, just take it out. No problem. So we arranged on his day of his birthday, it was his 40th birthday. I pulled him outside his house and I said, come on, I'm taking you for a run. I was like, okay. And we went up onto the tops and there's one particular road that I know and you can see for a long way, about 2 miles, it's dead straight. Deep in the middle, but you can accommodate that. Right, we opened it up there, and I went with it said, I'll get a job, give him a bit of a thrill. And he was face on, he was screaming from ear to ear. Anyway, we got to the road, and I put the foot down, and he said, it has a dragster engine in it, so it has a bit, it's 7 litres, and it has a little bit of punch to it. So it picked its feet up, and off it went, shot off down the road. And I'm thinking, that's great. And then we hit this tiny little undulation in the road. Something like that, or even this, or whatever, we've gone over it, we never even felt it, that thing. It started, it went from one side of the road to the other side of the road, and doing this with the steering wheel, it's all over them. Anyway, we eventually brought him the control and we carried on. He said, oh, that was brilliant! Can we do that again? I said, no, we can't. So yeah, it goes straight in a straight line, but it's awful around corners. But it's an American car, muscle cars. We do a lot of muscle cars. They were built to go, at this period, they were built to go very fast in a straight line. It was a Dodge Charger, that one, you know the one that Richard Petty drove, with the big wing at the rear? Anybody remember that? And the big front end? That was a Dodge Charger. It wasn't a Roadrunner as everybody thinks, it was a Dodge Charger. So they were built, you could get a version of that, which as it left the showroom would do 200 miles an hour, believe it or not. Walked around the corners and won't stop.
Oh, here's a put on a show of his own.
So, if you wasn't too sure what he was talking about, that guy wanting his wife dressing up like Daisy Duke is this character. Yeah, this is Catherine Bark. She did play the character of Daisy Duke, and yes, she is known for wearing them famous shorts because it was her idea for wearing them. Because when she went for the audition, she said, I always remember this interview, that they always wanted somebody looking like Dolly Parton, meaning somebody with maybe blonde hair and blue eyes. And she said when she went there was all these girls with blue eyes and blonde hair, and she was the only brunette there. And somehow she got picked out and got the job. But she did dedicate herself on that series. A lot of these actors did sort of like have disputes and not come up on the series and for more pay, and she was one of the dedicated actresses what didn't do that at all. So you know, good on her. So it was very, she was a very dedicated actress, and she did appreciate that she actually got the role. So that was very good of her actually. And yeah, she was a big icon in the 80s for maybe a lot of young teenage men in the 80s. Unfortunate for me, I was still very young, so you know, it was all for the car crashes and the car jumps for me and all that lot. And obviously I'm always going to take the mick out of her, because obviously if you watch a lot of these episodes of Dukes of Hazzard, that how many times does Daisy Duke get kidnapped? Because she always seemed to get kidnapped a lot in the Dukes of Hazzard. So yeah, it's interesting that, you know, be thinking, yes, some men want their wives to dress like that, with very tight shorts and not much more. So yeah, she was a popular character on the TV series The Dukes of Hazzard. So let's get back to what's happening.
Welcome to the Carnival of Thrills.
The car behind it is, we've had for the last 20 years, we've had one of Helen's cars with us. She has that, and then an MG ZT. The ZT they use for sprints and hill
Thrills. It's a little daredevil show that hits a lot of small towns in the south.
So just be aware of where you're putting your feet and what you're touching and what you're brushing up against.
Without stretching it.
This is our body shop. There's all sorts of bits and pieces in here. The Porsche, this one's been sat in somebody's garden for the last 4 years. It had an accident. Somebody ran into it, and for whatever reason, it hasn't been repaired. And it sat in his garden. It was full of bugs, all sorts of stuff. It's also been wrapped, and it's taken we've got to put a new door on it, new rear wing. We've got a spoiler which is kicking about there, in the back of there. And the spoiler, apparently it was a motorcyclist that overshot and ran into it, and the pillion took the spoiler off the back. It's obviously got a checkered history because on the roof the paint's come off in places and it's full of pillar, so it's obviously got a checkered history prior to that. But that's one of the projects that we're on with. The Mini that you can see here, we've just taken the subframe off. This is a one-owner Mini. The lady's had it from brand spanking new. It's her pride and joy. It failed its MOT. How it had got through an MOT last year, we don't know. The body is in a very poor condition. The subframe looks non-existent, so we've taken the subframe off, but it needs rear quarters and all the bits and pieces. It's all rotten here, as you can see. So we're waiting for the lady to look at it. We'll give her a price on it and then see what she wants to do. The one in the corner here, you see that way. This belongs to our this is his toy. Does anybody know where it starts to life?
Coming at us from all directions. Any bright ideas? I think we ought to arrange a meeting of the minds.
We have had dealings with this car for the last, 25 years that it was. The lad that owned it bought it as a standard Austin Atlantic and then slowly did all sorts of bits and pieces to it. We dropped the suspension on it, we fitted it, it's got a side valve Ford V8 engine from the 50s underneath the bonnet. We did that with a 3-speed box. He took it to London and had the roof chopped, etc. But then he had some issues. His wife decided she was leaving him, and he had some well, he went off the rails a little bit and had a relationship with the bottle and nearly killed himself and the car in the process, and then suddenly came to his senses and said, right, I need to get rid of the car and everything and start afresh. It's ended up with our body shop manager now, who has stripped it down, repainted it, altered certain bits and pieces and modified it, etc. It's a bit of a joke because he's here every night doing something to it. At the moment he's reupholstering it, it's had its rewire. And we keep saying, when are you going to get it on the road? Oh yeah, it'll be on in the next 2 weeks. He's been saying that for the last 5 years. So yeah, but that's his car. And he loves it and enjoys it. At the moment he's doing all his own interior. His wife was supposed to do it. He said, I'm now a seamstress, I can now sew. So he's doing the interior. The little figure up, we do quite a few of these. They are pretty much drop boxes. They weren't really designed for our country. Does anybody know the story of these? It's
Japanese importer.
yeah, but it was they were made in Japan. They were design studied by the Nissan apprentices. They're on a micro floor plan. They made 20,000 of them. They're in 4 colours to denote the 4 seasons of the year. They made 20,000. You had to apply to get one. Obviously, only in Japan they weren't for export. And they had 40,000 applications for the 20,000 cars. It was like your name got picked out of a bucket as to whether you got them or not. But the MOT restrictions in Japan are so strict that's why we get a lot of imports in here, because the right-hand drive, so we get the imports in this country. The great little cars, the 1200cc turbocharged, but they're wrought for fun. This one was no exception, and we've done quite a lot of work with it. It's got this lot of bits and pieces. You can see from past repairs, the boot floor's full of fiberglass, etc. That suspension strut, that side, was pure fiberglass in. How would you got for another 2 years? So this one has all been sorted out, done, dusted, it's just been put back together next week now, and then this will be going back to the customer. The Mini that's on the ramp, we completely restored that about 4 years ago.
He's some colicky. Like he was a warning old Bo not to make that jump.
Come on, get up. We need 10 miles an hour. Come on, bro. We need 65. Hell.
Really ridiculous was when she was doing the non-cross 500. You get lots of people in supercars doing it. They try to do it in 2 days or 1 day, etc. There was more attention paid to them.
They'll take care.
Which we can't dispose of because there's all sorts of bits and pieces that are unique to that vehicle. So it's sat there waiting until we get to rebuild that one, and then we can swap the bits over. When we're doing cars such as the Nissan, you can't get the Nissan Figaro, you can't get many spare new parts for them. There's not many body panels that are made for them because they only make 20,000. There's not that many in this country, so the spares. So we have to make new panels for them. In which case, we use all this equipment here. And we can produce lots of different panels, etc., using all these pieces of equipment. I'm no good with them, I can't use them, I don't know what I'm doing with them, but the lads in here know what to do and use them. I can only play with them. And so that's what we do. So if you, as a body shop, if you came to us with your, I don't know, your Ford Focus and said, oh, I've got slight damage to the front wing, and you put your new front wing on, we're not the people to come to. But if you've got something like the Figaro, which you can't get parts for, or the Mini that needs totally rebuilding, etc., then we're the garage to come to. But all like the Mercedes Pagoda that's in there, we can make the panels, etc. The XJC, we had to put new floor pans in that, which aren't available. So we made floor pans for it, which we can do with this. But take it to a normal body shop and they'll be going, what do I do now? So that's the way that works. So we'll move on into the workshop.
Old Toby is really in trouble. His daddy don't know he's got the car. That's Daddy's shirt, too.
We have
Oh yeah, we did. So here it is.
Well, this is our workshop area. There's all sorts of things going on in here. We're a bit quiet at the moment, because we're probably doing it in the car at the end of the week. I'll do this one first. This is a Piaggio Ape. This came to us, it was an eBay buy by a chap that used to work for us, but he's into his scooters, etc. And he's always wanted one of these. And he came home from the pub one night, a little bit better, the worse for alcohol, and saw this advertised in Italy on the Italian eBay site. It had been in Tuscany, used on an olive grove in Tuscany, and he saw it and he bid for it, and it's absolutely beggared, or it was. The engine was absolutely jiggered. We've rewired it. Rebuilt the engine. We're just waiting for a couple of parts to come so that we can finish it off. We've done a couple of these, restored them. They're a lovely thing, they're great. They're made out of, so thin is the material. They're made to a price, and I just love the engineering that goes into them. But they're lethal. You can turn them over, roll them over and put them on the side. So easy. They're frightening to drive, I don't know what you class it as, but so he's already had a go in this, he said, and when it came and it was running really rough, but he said, I've realised now maybe I shouldn't be allowed on the road with it. But he's got it registered and all the job lot, so we're just waiting for the bits and pieces to come, and then this is going back to him. The Rover that you see there, that came to us as a rolling shell. The customer had stripped it down. He's a Rover and an MG fanatic, and he brought this to us as a rolling shell and asked us to repaint it in the two-tone paintwork, etc., which we did. And then the idea was it was being shipped back to him, and he was going to rebuild it. Well, it stayed here for about 3 or 4 weeks, and we were thinking, well, when's he going to come and collect it? And then one day, 2 transits turned up with all the engine and all the interior bits and everything else, and he said, can you put it back together for me, please? He said, I've done the hard work, I stripped it down. And we said, oh, thanks a lot. He said, but I'm never going to get to put it back together. Can you put it back together for me? So we've started, we've got the engine in and other bits and pieces. He keeps swapping stuff over, as it's a mixture of about 5 or 6 different cars to make the Rover that or the MG that he wants. So that's on with, one day it will be finished, but when we don't know. The Volvo is a customer. We've been doing this car for years. We've done bits of paintwork to it and all sorts of things. It's got mega mileage. It drives absolutely fantastic. I think it's done about 175,000 at the moment. It drives fantastic. It regularly goes to Scotland and back, to the Kintyre and back. Absolutely stunning car. A fanatic that owns it is a real eccentric. We have this, he's got that, he's got an 850, he's got an Audi, he's got an 850, T5 850 estate as well, which he uses as everyday car. They've got a very early Audi 80, which has done mega mileage, and he's got an MGB GT V8, which is in the storage, which he never takes out. But that's a lovely car, and going up in value. They have a real following in the tuning. People put bigger engines in them. A little known fact, Paul Newman, the actor, everybody will know Paul Newman, he swore by Volvos, and he used to go to the Volvo showroom, he'd buy the new Volvo, take it to his mate, who would, his mate's garage, who would then take the engine out and put a Chevy 350 in it. And he always ran a Volvo with a Chevy 350 in it. The little Austin Healey Sprite That again is one it's been at another garage. I'm not going to say which garage, but it's been to another garage. It's had all sorts of bits and pieces done to it that we're not quite happy with and whatever. So we're sorting out the problems. The customer himself had to rewire and hotwire it to make it run because they messed about with the ignition and got that all wrong and other bits and pieces. We had to, I don't know where the remnants are, it's over there underneath the ramp. The wheel on this side, we eventually had to cut it off because we couldn't get the wheel off. It had welded itself solid to the spline hood. The previous garage it's got bolt-on hubs, and the previous garage put the hubs on the wrong way around. So we ended up coming back from where it had been done, and they thought, plumbing on, well, whose wheel's that? As a wheel over, and it was one of these rear wheels that had come off. Because if you get these on, the wheel nuts, for those that don't know, they go in different directions, so they tighten up as you're driving. But if you put them on if you put the hubs on the wrong way, they'll slacken off as you drive. So that's that one.
You go bouncing down the road.
How
much do you pay for the figure then? You make Lee, mate.
I haven't a clue. You won't tell me.
It was that much then?
Yeah. He's embarrassed.
Is it, yeah?
Yeah, and because he worked with us, we've kept him pulled his leg something shot.
Yeah.
The Lancia Full.
Just a few moments, Carnival for the moment you've all been waiting for.
One that owns that was, they were at Le Mans Classic and they were heavily drinking, watching the racing at night, and he put a bid on an auction house to buy this car. Never even thought a thing about it and thought he wouldn't get it. And then 2 days later, when he was still in France, we got a telephone call to say that his bid had been successful. Could he transfer the money, please? And the car was ready for collection. So he had to ring his wife up from France and say, if you look at the bank, dear, there'll be a slight discrepancy. Anyway, it all worked out well. She loves the car and she forgave him quite quickly. But it's just having electronic ignition. It broke down on him this time. The distributor keeps shorting out. So he's having the electronic ignition fitted and other bits and pieces. That sort. So that's the pagoda that's on the ramp. That one came to us. That went to a garage down south to be restored. The customer deposited the car with them, and then the garage owner kept sending in photographs of the car being restored. But eventually the customer, the owner of the garage, had a nervous breakdown and the garage folded. So he was requested to collect the car. But he was under the impression that all it needed was the windscreens fitting and the chrome work fitting. So he went to collect the car, well, send his company down to collect the car. They had photographs of what they were collecting. When they got to the garage, there wasn't a car that was on the photographs, but there was one that was just a mess, and that was it. And they said, well, no, ours is nearly done, look. And they said, no, that's a car that left us 5 years ago. This is your car. And they'd been taking money off him and fleecing him, something shocking. But he'd had the car with them for 4 years and never been to see it. So his own worst enemy, in our opinion. We like customers to come and see what's going on. So on this one we've put new front wings on it. We've straightened the chassis out because it was bent, nothing lined up. We put rear wings on it, rear panel, door skin on the driver's door. When we started stripping it down, there was 1.5 inches of filler on the driver's door in the middle. So it's had new skin on the driver's door. It's just being dry built at the moment, and then we will strip all the chrome work off, etc., and repaint it again once we've got everything fixed right, all the shut lines right, etc., etc. So that isn't its finished coat of paint. It will have another final coat before we finish with it. The TR4, we had two TR4s. It was weird. We both one on this ramp, one on that ramp, both at the same time, which is unusual. That one's got a list of bits and pieces. It had a sports exhaust one, which is that taken off and having a stainless steel exhaust fitted, plus other bits and pieces, electronic ignition and all sorts of bits and bats done. So that one's on. The Mark II that's on the ramp at the end there, we're always storing one of their cars. It belongs to a lady. She's got an E-Type, Capri, and an MG. That Jaguar. And the Jaguar is down in the front suspension. So we're just having a look as to whether we rebuild the front suspension on it or not. We'll see what happens on that score. And that, I think, is it. Yes. Any questions?
What do you drive?
What do I drive? That big silver pile of crap that's outside. That's it. That's me. And all these, if I get the opportunity, order a master. But outside you'll see a whacking big motorhome down in the bottom car park. I drive that as well. That's why I enjoy driving that and that big silver pile of crap out there. Any more questions?
You know when your car storage,
Yes.
when they come to take them out, you know standing cars are no good. So you've got tyre pressures, batteries down. What do? Do you get them ready for them?
Yes.
And do they pay you for that?
It's part of the deal.
Part of it.
Part of the
When
deal.
they come, you've got to get them ready for when they come to take them out.
The ones that are going out regular, we know the ones, for instance, there's a Ferrari in there. If we leave the battery without a conditioner on it, 24 hours and the battery will be flat. So we have them on charge and all the job lot. We have battery conditioners, so it's putting juice in, taking juice out. Even the McLaren at the far end, which hasn't been out for 5 years, tyre pressures are checked, oil levels checked. We move the car about, and it's on a conditioner, and it will fire straight up. So yeah, but some of them,
You get car ready.
yeah, and they bring them back. You can bring it back absolutely filthy. We'll clean it, wash it, all a part of the deal. Yeah, yeah,
Do you rebuild engines here from scratch or
yeah.
you do?
It depends.
You just send them away?
It depends. The majority, yes, we do, but such as the Bentley that's in there, no, we wouldn't.
No.
The Bentley, because they're a specialist, so the Bentley that went to a specialist.
That'll go back to Bentley specialists?
Yeah, because it had cracked block, cracked head, and there are lots of specialist bits and pieces that need doing to that engine. So yeah.
And they repair a black track
Yeah, they can stitch it, weld it, do whatever, and then ceramic seal it. So you can do that. The heads are the worst on those. But once you start, you can run one of those engines quite happily for a long time. But once you strip them down, that's it. You open the can of worms up, and then you've got to start from scratch. No more questions, right, beggar off. I'm going to a car show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, mate.
You're over there now.
And I get one off my pregnant, sticking out the so that we go raising them. So teamwork. So we went out.
That's all right.
I can get another the MG. American spec, American bumpers. Not really knowing I'm getting a good shot on that. Oh, that looks better. Yeah. It could be same price. Looks like it's moved. We'll film it. I've got to film our VW Beetles. The posh ones. It's a 911. This one. I wouldn't know if they weren't marked up, I'll tell you that. Seriously. Lovely. Yeah. That's to film somebody else's machinery. the old famous, everyone says, it's 9/11. But is it the best Porsche? It's the most remembered one, but no.
We like to try to head toward that clump of spruce. As many beers offline we take.
Way once upon a time ago, before I ended up with my second car to drive on the road, I had a Mini. My old man took me to this forecourt, and it had a 4-wheel drive Panda Fiat, and there was this. I thought it's my price range, but I always remember it same colour, you know, the black and the maroon, and it's like maybe the 80s one. But what put me off was because I have passed my test, but obviously I'm still a new driver. But when you see something weird, and this is what put me off it, because I could have bought one, but I never did, because I got put off. You know, you think when you pass your driving test, you pass with your gears, or maybe automatic. I didn't, but obviously, you know. But this, you see the blue lever there? I saw that, and I'm looking for a gear knob. Where's the gear knob? Is that the gear? And that what put me off getting one of these. And, well, yeah, alright, it was a cheap means of transport, but obviously, yeah, I've got mates, and you know, you want to take your mates out, and first thing you want is a decent 4-door vehicle. Well, obviously, you know, insurance. This isn't 90s and all. Well, when people's cars were getting stolen and stuff, if you had something silly to spend on, like XR3Is, that was later on in my time, but I went with when I got older. So, if you all know, I had a Lada Riva, not one, but I had 2 in the end. But yeah, the Citroen did get mentioned that I was going to end up with one of these. And the weirdest thing about filming this a lot is it's the exact same colour. It'd be weird if it's the exact same car, but don't ask me, I won't remember its registration. But yeah, it's the exact car, and it did put me off seeing that lever. I'm like, oh no. But I could buy it. I could, you know, it was in my Ford range, but I didn't know about insurance, and well, obviously we didn't bother asking a, you know, a actual salesman or anything. Went to the Lada garage and got that. Obviously, I'm doing some videos about it. Obviously, the best automatic. Well, we've got to think about these missed out, especially with Second World War. But the off-ability of it, you know, because it's just a simple suspension. But yeah, they are capable of off-roading.
Breaker, all races. Looks like we picked up a fourth. One Roscoe B. Coltrane. Now let's split at the crossroads. I doubt if you can.
So, you see a big motorhome, that's what he mentioned. So, nice. Just cars.
That's the first bit of truth I ever heard him say. Let's see if we can jump over this. Come on, Roscoe.
Very convenient, just on to